Hi, and welcome to another day of wonderful life for most people, and my therapy session. Yeah, that's what you guys get to see today because I'm in that mood for therapy, and I think that part of me kicked in today. I get like different parts. Y'all know I have dissociative identity, and I just I'm starting a journal. I'm trying to like talk to them and get to know them and understand them, and everybody does that nowadays, and it's like inner retrospect, and I'm just like, this is my special pen right now, but I just am trying to come to terms with all of the different ones that I have, and it's kind of hard, and I've read a lot of stuff that I've written in my past, and I never remember when I'm in this different frame of mind. Like, it's totally a different person, and they can do things with my body. And so it's like having different people, but it's not really different people, it's all of you. So I have a really crazy personality, everybody. I guess you all know that. I'm crazy. I'm loco in a cabeza. Yeah, I'm crazy. So it makes sense. But, given my situation, it's kind of understandable. I mean, I don't think you can be normal and sane and be molested every night as a child. So, yeah, that's the reality, I'm not even sugarcoating, like, that's just it. You get what you get. And what your first few years really set the stage for who you are going to be. And your personality, that's what's so important if you have children, to really like help them to be themselves and feel safe in their environment. And I think you'll do good as a parent. In these days, it's kind of hard to like fail, like for real, because a lot of people don't know what they're doing, but that's just the world we live in. Everybody's kind of just does what they feel. And, given your circumstances and life situations, I guess for each person it's different. But I just, in a way, I'm glad I can't have children. I don't know what kind of mother I would be anyways. I'd be so up and down emotionally, and I would not want them to have to deal with that. Plus, being in places like this, I don't think is suitable for children. I think they deserve an apartment or a home. I mean, even a mobile home is better than this, One little bedroom? No, that's not even safe. And I stayed with my mom and slept in the bed and the mattress with her. So it's pretty nasty to like sleep with your mom and her guy friends, That's just kind of nasty as heck. And I don't know how I survived all that, Well, I do know. I didn't really do it myself, It's just thinking about it, it still is like way out there in left field because, I know what happened logically, but to really own it, as me is just really hard for me to say, yeah, I have dissociative identity. There's like multiple other people or other parts of me that can come out when they want to. And usually they do it when I'm very mentally distraught. Like, I can't, if I'm in one of my brain fog, I feel them wanting to come out. I had felt something when I was in therapy. No, not therapy. I wasn't even in therapy. I was just doing my dermaplaning, and one of them was like saying some really rude things to my therapist. I mean, to my dermatologist person, and I was like, I don't want to say that. That's rude. I like this. I like her. I like being given special treatment and loving my skin. And this thing was like, bitch, you're too close to my face. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I was so embarrassed, even though I didn't say it logically. I was afraid, like, what if I actually said it? Like, it was so strong. The thoughts I was thinking almost were so, like, it was like I was thinking out loud, you know? And it felt like that it really wanted to come out at that moment. And I was scared, like, I don't know how to stop it sometimes. And what if I say some rude things to somebody in another person? And they come back to me and they're like bitching me out or something, and I don't even remember what happened, you know? And that's the things that can happen. You can be embarrassed, and I'm kind of embarrassed by the situation with my neighbors. I don't really talk to them a lot, so for one of my alters to have felt comfortable enough to like go over there just to get cookies, like I almost wonder if I've done it multiple times then, because I mean that seems really out of character for me to just go over there. But right now I've been like in this odd little brain fog again because last night I didn't sleep, and I think it might have been another altar of mine. Like sometimes I don't even remember. Like it feels like I'm asleep or it feels like I'm awake. And what if I'm not? Like my body's not. And that's why sometimes I felt so freaking tired, and it's like I've slept all night and I still feel freaking tired. Like I mean, sometimes I'm understanding why, because the other personas of me take over. And I don't get rest, because then I wake up in my normal state. And, you know, that was one thing that happened to me when I was little. They said that I woke up. I had a seizure. I passed out at one point. And I was just going to take a little rest or nap. At one point, I was like really tired. And I've been on these diet pills, so I thought maybe it was that, but I was taking them as prescribed. But I'm thinking what happened is like one of the alters came out at that time, and it was like freaked out by all the doctors, and it was like saying no, 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 or something like that. They were like not knowing what to do. Like they weren't sure what's going on. They just put on my records, like came to, but in a different frame of mind. That's what they wrote on my thing, that I'd had a seizure, and that happened to me. So I was like, okay, I don't really know what that means. And they just let me go, and they thought it was just from the meds that I was taking, but I think my little Mona was coming out. And the thing with her is she always comes out and she's scared. Like, there's never like times when she's okay. She's like that feeling that I had when I was being molested. She's that one emotion, because some alters, I guess, can take on just an emotion, and another alter will take on a separate emotion. That's literally like all their job is to hold that fear or that happiness or whatever, you know, sexuality. Like some of them will hold that. Like they hold different parts of you from when you're a child and you can't cope with that emotion. And when you're a child and you don't even understand, okay, honey, and you can't even understand a term, like you don't understand what's going on. Like that's understandable because you're like a little toddler or a little child. And so they will come out and they will be that for you. And you feel safe. You know, you can feel safe and secure because they get the fear. And, you know, it's kind of not fair, I don't think, because that's their whole life and that's all they know. And, you know, I realize how much fear there really is inside of me, because that's what Isaac told me, was that it was very scared and, you know, anxious and darting her eyes everywhere and crying. And this little girl, you know, this little tiny version of me when I was little, and it's stuck there. And so I don't have a lot of that connection, and it makes it hard for me because I don't know where that is. And other people remember themselves, and I don't remember myself like normal people, you know. And I think that's the hardest thing about it, is that I just go from one thing to another. I go mindlessly, and I never feel connected within myself. So I know that there's a little girl, there's a little version of me, there's a little, I don't know her name 100%, so I'm just going to say little me. Because she probably is like me, and she's scared. She wants her mommy. She cries for her mommy a lot. And Isaac had to say, no, your mom's not here. You know, you're safe, you're okay. And he said that to me apparently when I was in that state of mind, and it took a little bit, but he was able to get me to come back. And then my exhibitionist came back, and that's a whole nother thing. You know, I flipped in from that. I have an exhibitionist, so I'm just gonna say exhibitionist because I don't know what else to call her. She's very like free-spirited, and she likes to do things. She likes lollipops, apparently. And possibly she also likes the cookies too. I know there's a little part of me that likes, like the other one probably did too. So maybe the little Mona does too. But yeah, the one that begs. Oh, maybe that's a separate one. Maybe she's her whole self. So the beggar girl. So yeah, I have a couple littles. And that's all she would do. And so she went and begged for food, and had some brought up to her pillow and kept it under there, and would just get things from people. I don't know. It was weird. I was taught to do that, and I guess it's something it's hard to unlearn, you know? And so that part of me held on to it and still holds on to it. And I don't know how to get her to let go of that, you know? It's like these little pieces of yourself are stuck in those moments, and when they get out, they're free, you know. I have a little innocent child too. I know I have that. That's why I like to do my little thumb sucking ones. So innocent girl, and she likes to be good. She's the good girl. She always has to ask if she's good. I apparently did that at one time. I would always be like, am I a good duo? Translation, good girl, if you didn't know. But yeah, that was all those ones right there. So she's the thumb sucker. I had a while where I don't think I had many, but I do also believe I have I had an adult one in me that was a housekeeper, and she was the motherly one, and she took care of she was like the caretaker of the system, I believe. So she could be that guardian. That's a word for it, guardian. She's the guardian of the system. And which her job was to keep us all safe. She did whatever she had to do to stay in a place. Because when I was taken away, I was given to multiple foster homes. And basically, it was like a lottery. You were, brought from one place to another, and you never knew if you were going to stay there long term or if they were going to take you away again. It sucks being in the system. So I didn't have a good experience, and I developed severe abandonment issues, And I still face that today. It'll never go away. Once you have that fear of being removed and taken away or losing somebody that you love, it will never go away. And that won't ever leave me. She came in to just keep us safe and to do whatever they wanted us to do so that we wouldn't be hurt. And that meant pleasing men. That meant doing as I was told, cleaning. Like, I learned to just be a people pleaser that way, and I think that's what she was. And I didn't have a reason to have an adult mentality at a little tiny toddler age, you know. Most 3 or 4 year olds don't even barely know how to tie their own shoes, let alone try to keep the little unit together. So I know that one came in me and kicked down line just so that me and my brother would be safe. And I owe her everything, because, you know, I'm glad that she came into me, and I'm glad that she was a part of me that knew what to do to protect us and to make sure that things would be done for us. Because I was a little child, I didn't know that, you know, and so she's kind of like my mother. And I guess as a little girl, I probably thought of her as that. And maybe that's who I thought was my mother, was my own alter.